As someone who's spent most of his life trying to outrun pain, I can tell you this. The more you run, the louder it gets. You can bury it under as much success as you want to. You can numb it with as many distractions as you want to. You can try to outwork it, outdrink it, outperform it, but pain has a way of finding you. Pain is patient. It waits until you slow down, man. Until all of the noise fades. Until there's nothing left to hide behind. And then it shows up again and it says, are you ready to listen now? And for most of my life, I wasn't. I thought pain was a problem that I needed to solve. I thought it meant something was wrong with me or with life or maybe even with God. Like maybe the universe had made a mistake in me. I believed if I could just fix myself, give more discipline, get more focused or maybe more spiritual or just more successful, then maybe the ache would finally leave me the hell alone. But it never did, because pain wasn't here to punish me. Pain was here to teach me something. And there's this line that I love from a Buddhist teaching that I came across once, and it said, suffering is the beginning of wisdom. Not because suffering in itself is holy, but because it strips away everything that isn't true. And it burns through the illusion. It humbles the hell out of you. It breaks the version of you that's still pretending to have it all together. And when that version finally dies and fades away, something honest begins to live. And that's the paradox that most of us never learn, you guys. Your suffering is not proof that you're broken. It's proof that life loves you enough to wake you the hell up. You could call that karma or grace or just reality doing whatever the hell it does, but it's all the same thing. And the point isn't to escape it. The point is to meet it face to face, to let it show you what you've been avoiding. And I remember sitting alone one night. Everything in my life was technically working the way that it should. You know, I had the house, I had the job, I had the people around me, and yet something inside of me still felt hollow. I realized I had built a life around control, around keeping everything in place so I would never have to feel powerless again. But control is just fear wearing a nice set of clothes. And fear, you guys, it always cracks. But those cracks are where life gets in. That's the moment where the old self starts to break. And if you are willing, the new self begins to form. You know, pain itself is just the sound of something breaking that does not belong inside of you. Right? I mean, think about that. And you can see this truth everywhere you look. Look at nature. Every single seed has to split open before it grows. Every single wave has to rise and then fall. Every season dies before the next one blooms. You guys, there's nothing wrong with that rhythm. It's how life evolves. But we, as human beings, we're the only creatures who resist to that. We treat endings like failures instead of transitions, and we treat loss like it's rejection instead of renewal. And we cling to what's familiar, even when it's suffocating us. Because at the very least, we know what that looks like. Now, some of the old teachings that I'm talking about here, they talk about this thing of impermanence, about how everything changes and how fighting that truth is the root of our suffering. The pain isn't in the change. It's in the clinging. And you guys, I fucking clung to everything. My image, my plans, my comfort, my identity. But life does not negotiate with your ego. It will keep taking you. It'll take you from the things that you refuse to release until you learn to let go. And that's not cruelty. That's mercy. Because the moment you finally stop gripping so damn tight, you can start to breathe again. Like you can start feeling again. You start to realize that peace is not found in control. It's found in surrender. And I want you to think about that one for a second. Take a breath. Just take a moment to breathe right now. Wherever you are at right now, take a second to just breathe. And maybe that's something you've been fighting. What if instead of asking, why is all of this pain happening to me? You ask, what is this trying to show me? That one question can change everything. And guys, if this is landing with you so far, if you can feel any bit of that truth stirring inside of you somewhere, pause for a second and drop a comment down below. Tell us, what's been the hardest thing for you to let go lately? I don't need you to overshare, but just name it. Put it out there. Because the moment you name that thing, it starts to lose its power. You see, pain does not disappear. Pain does not disappear when you face it, but it does transform. And it turns wisdom into compassion, into clarity. The same fire that used to burn you starts to warm you. It starts to fuel you. It starts to propel you forward. That same pressure that used to crush you starts to shape you. And that's what's awakening right now. That's what it really means to awaken. Not floating off into some distant, peaceful land, but being fully here, being fully alive, even when it hurts. And I know, man, I know it's tempting to want to take every single shortcut you can, to look for the book or the habit or the hack that will make it all go away, but you cannot heal what you refuse to feel. There is no bypass for being human. You're stuck with it. The work isn't about getting rid of pain. It's about learning to walk with it until it teaches you what it came to teach. And when you start to sit with the pain instead of trying to fix it, you notice something strange. It starts to move. You know, it's that solid wall that you thought it was there to stop you in your tracks, but that wall shifts. It breathes. You know, it has a texture to it. And sometimes it's heat in your chest. Sometimes it's a lump in your throat. Sometimes it's just a heaviness that says, stay. And the moment you get curious about that, it becomes less in control of you. And that's what old monks talk about, you know, when they talked about awareness, not analyzing everything to death, but just letting things reveal themselves. So no, pain is not punishment. It's a communication. It's a messenger. It's the body, the heart, and the soul coming together. And they're saying something is like, hey, something in here still needs attention. And when you listen to it, it begins to soften. But when you fight it, it hardens. And I used to fight it every damn day. I'd tighten my jaw and clench my fists and tell myself that I need to keep pushing through. I need to figure this out and I have to keep going. I don't have time to feel. I thought discipline meant suppression. But real discipline is tenderness. It's the willingness to just sit there and stay. To start to notice that underneath all of my anger, there's a little bit of grief. That there's some sadness. Underneath all of this perception of control, there's fear. Underneath my exhaustion, there's a longing. And that longing, that's what's holy. It's the part of you that still behaves like in a hopeful manner. That still believes that healing is possible. That's why it hurts so much when life strips away the things that you thought would save you. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. Life is removing the things that are not built on solid ground so you can finally stand on your own foundation. And there's a story that I once heard about a man who went to a teacher and he said, I'm so angry, I'm so hurt, I just want peace. And the teacher said, show me your anger. And the man looked around confused. He said, I can't. He said, it comes and goes. The teacher smiles and he says, then it can't be who you are. You know, I am so angry. No, that's not who you are. And that line followed me for years because the moment you realize that your pain is something you experience, not something that you are, you start to gain space inside of yourself. And that space is freedom. That's the space where love can breathe again. And when you meet your own suffering with that kind of awareness, something else opens up too. You start to see everyone else's suffering differently. You stop taking things personally. You see that we're all just trying to find our way through our own storms. And that guy who cut you off in traffic, or your partner who shuts down instead of talking, the friend who disappeared, they are all carrying pain too. And when you start to see that, compassion stops being a concept and it becomes instinct. You don't have to force it. It just happens when you understand your own heart. And that's what people mean when they say awakening. It's not a mystical state. It's when the wall between my pain and the world's pain starts to dissolve. We're all one here. It's when you stop dividing life into things that you want and things that you don't and start meeting all of it as part of the same current. There is an old saying, the obstacle is the path. The obstacle is the way. And I think that's what that means. If you're watching this right now and there's something heavy that you're carrying, a breakup, a failure, a loss, that constant voice in your head that tells you you're not enough, just take a second. Don't scroll away. Just sit here with me and take a deep breath. Let yourself feel the weight of it without judging it. If you want, write one line about it down in the comments down below, because it's powerful to name what is real. I'm telling you guys, one small act of courage that says, I'm not hiding from this anymore. The thing about courage is that it rarely feels brave in the moment. It usually feels like shaking hands and a fast heartbeat and wanting to run, but courage isn't the absence of fear, you guys. It's the presence inside of fear. And it's saying, I'm going to stay. Every time that you do, you grow stronger. Every time that you stay, you teach your nervous system that it's safe to be alive again. Now, the Buddhists call this kind of presence right effort. It's not forcing things to change. It's the effort of returning, to coming back over and over again to what's true. Like you lose your center, you come back. You get triggered, you come back. You shut down, you come back. That's how you build a steady heart. That's how you start to walk through pain without being swallowed up by it. You know, there comes a point where you realize that the goal was never to get rid of your pain. The goal is to learn how to stay open in the middle of it. How to be brave enough and courageous enough to just sit there. Stop treating your pain like it's an intruder and start seeing it as a messenger. And that changes its tone. It stops shouting. It starts guiding you. And you begin to sense the quiet intelligence behind it, the way that every single loss has softened you. Every single disappointment has carved space for humility. Every single heartbreak expanded your capacity to love. That's when gratitude starts to sneak in. Not the polite kind, not the kind that you force yourself to say, but the real thing, you guys. Gratitude that you're still here. Gratitude that you can feel it all. I'm so fucking grateful to be alive, to be human, that I can feel pain, that I can feel hatred, that I can feel love, that I can feel the good and the bad. Gratitude that life cared enough to keep you around, to keep pulling you back to yourself. And you start to see that all of these moments you called failures were really training. Every single collapse was a doorway. Every single ending was an invitation to begin again. That pain is love with the sharp edges still on it. Love sanding away the pieces that don't belong anymore. The friction hurts like hell, but it's what makes you smooth, right? It makes you real. And once you walk through that enough times, you stop being afraid of it. You stop bracing for impact and you start trusting the rhythm. You start to live a little bit lighter. You know, I used to think that awakening meant rising above everything, not having anger, not getting pissed off, not having any sadness or fear. But now I think it means being able to feel everything without drowning. It means standing in the storm and realizing that the storm is inside of you and that you can still breathe there. You can still love there, that there's power there. There's freedom in that. So man, if you're in it right now, if life feels heavy, if you're tired, if it feels like you're losing more than you're gaining, just remember this. The fire is not here to destroy you. It's here to reveal you. What is burning away right now are just the things that can't go with you where you're going, who you're turning into, who you're becoming. So take one more breath for me. Feel your feet on the ground. You're still here. That means you're still becoming. And maybe, just maybe, your pain is love trying to get your attention. You guys, if any of this spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Please scroll down and leave a comment. Tell me, tell someone, tell everybody else that's watching this video, what part of your journey hurts the most right now? And what are you ready to let go of? I can't even begin to explain to you how much your words matter. And they remind you, and they remind the next man who reads them, that none of us are walking through this alone. And if you want to keep walking together, you guys, hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, share this video with someone who's in their own fire right now. That small act helps this message find more people who need it next. Because that's how this works. One honest story at a time. One man at a time, learning that he doesn't have to run from what hurts, that he can stand in it, and he can breathe in it, and he can let it make him whole. He can let it remind him how whole he already is. Because you're not broken. Parts of you are being refined and revealed. There is no punishment here. This is all preparation. The pain that you're going through is a form of love. It's still shaping you. So keep listening to it. Keep walking. Keep moving forward. Keep letting it do its work. I'll see you in the next one.